for the greatest show in the history of great fucking shows.
Beers with Brokeass.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on.
Okay, man, here we are up in studio, Beers with Brokeass. We're happy to have HIPPIE Mike and his boy, Big Rip Kaelen in studio.
Big Rip.
Big Rip. That's awesome.
What's up, Big Rip?
That's awesome. So let's just, where did we leave off?
2018.
Yeah.
We were talking about injuries and the house and the first baby.
Yeah.
Second baby.
Second
was
baby.
born. Yeah.
The troublemaker.
Oh.
I don't
the
make
wild
much
one.
trouble.
No, you just skate. That's all.
Yeah.
He
That's
jumps
good.
off 8 stairs. She jumps off
Everything.
onto my head.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, good thing she only
That's
weighs 32
beautiful.
pounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing now?
Yeah, so, during the COVID bullshit, was a great time for me to come out of my shell again. And I was looking for something to do for a while anyway, I ended up having 3 surgeries on the same leg over those 4 years. So from
Wow.
2015, I did the first one we talked about. 2017 was when they did the one where they broke the tibia and straightened it and put in the ACL. And I recovered from that for 2 years. Well, I recovered for a year and then I started skating again. And a year later, I broke my ankle right through both bones. It was just me, Kaelen, and AJ that works for me, and we were hanging out at my house, just riding the ramp outside, and fucking just went to run away from something on the top. I didn't like the way I was in it because I didn't want to get hurt, so
Yeah,
I ran
for
away.
sure. And then you
Stepped on my board on the way down, and then did the splits at the ankle.
Splits again. That's
At
so,
the ankle.
Is this the third time?
The ankle did the
And-
splits.
oh, the ankle did
snap
splits
it in
there.
half.
Yeah, I looked at AJ. I said, "I'm pretty sure I just broke my ankle," and he's like,
Yeah, we heard it
It's
snap.
like sideways, right? So I
Oh.
picked it up. I friggin' set it. And
Do you ever pass out when that happens, or like
no,
no?
Not
You're
at
beyond
all.
the pass out.
I was more just frustrated
Yep.
and in disbelief that I had to go through not walking again in such a short period of time. But when I set it, this little piece of bone got stuck in between the 2 bones.
Oh.
So I went down to the hospital, and Hope Hospital is really chill, right? Like
Yeah.
usually there's nobody there, but there was actually like 5 or 6 people in there waiting to go in, and like it's so quiet that you have to phone Chilliwack to book in. There's no one at the front.
Oh, wow.
So you go to the front, you pick up a
Oh,
phone, you
that's
talk to someone in the
hilarious.
Chilliwack Hospital, and then they send someone from the back to come see you, right?
Wow.
And anyway, I was sitting there, and I told the lady. She goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "Well, my ankle's broken." And I had my own crutches and everything, right? And taped it all together, like with a tensor to hold it in place. And she's like, "Well, how do you know?" I was like, "Well, I just reset it. Like it was like this, right? It was fucking sideways, right?" So
Like,
she's,
Jesus,
she's,
who is
she's
this
not
guy?
buying it. She's
Yeah,
like,
of
yeah,
course.
like this guy's not
You
screaming,
would've
he's
passed
not
out.
crying, whatever. And I knew the one person that was in the hospital, this little girl that's in Kaelen's class, and she has like cancer in her eye, and I know her well,
no.
and I know her family, and so I was like letting her go ahead of me and letting this person go ahead of me. I wasn't in a hurry or anything. So finally I went in and they x-rayed it and whatever they did, and this chick actually came in while I was laying on the table with the doctor and says, "So was it actually broken?"
Doctor's
The
like,
doctor's
yeah,
like,
it's
"Yeah,
in
he
half.
broke both bones right through, dude. Like, there's a chunk of bone stuck in between 2 bones right now." Like, he's like yelling at her, like, "What do you mean?"
That's beautiful.
I'm just shaking my head at her, like,
I told you.
Whatever. So he says, well, you know, you can, you're going to need surgery, he says.
Oh.
So he says we can transfer you to the hospital in one of those ambulances to Chilliwack, because they don't do surgery in Hope. Or, like, you can go on your own. Like, we'll make an appointment for you and you can go on your own. I said, well, I'm not in any hurry, so I'll just go home, right? So
they're like, Jesus.
Oh yeah, dude. So I went home. It was a Wednesday. I had my appointment was Friday morning, right? So I'm like, I drive myself down to meet the surgeon. I had to be there for 7 a.m, and I got stopped in the middle of the highway by 2 moose that were like towering over my truck. I got a 2500 Silverado, and these moose were like 3-4 feet taller than my truck. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? I've got 1 foot, you know. Like, what do I do? Beep beep, you know. So anyway, they let me by.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Off I went. And so I met the surgeon, and whatever he said, okay, we're gonna get you in tonight. So how did you get here? I said, well, I drove. He goes, okay, well, you can't drive home from the surgery, so you might as well go home now and get a ride back. And I'm like, well, it's a friggin' hour drive, right?
Yeah.
He's like, you know, do what you gotta do. This is what time it's at. Be here by 5 or whatever. So I think it was 4 actually. I had to be there. So I drive back home. I call my buddy Jason and I said, I need a ride to Chilliwack. So we leave early, and he had to stop at the gas station. I forget what I needed. Maybe papers or something. I needed something inside. We didn't get gas, but we parked at the pump. And I guess this guy got super mad that we were like blocking the pump because he wanted to get gas.
Oh,
I was literally like, I get out of the truck, I crutch into the friggin', he didn't go in for me. I crutch into the store, I get whatever I was getting, I come back, and this guy's yelling out of his car. And Jason's like, is he yelling at you? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, you yelling at me? And he's like, yeah, fuck you. He just fucking starts yelling at me.
While
like,
you're on crutches.
oh, dude. He's like, guys, could have parked over there. He's getting all mad. Jason's getting out of the car. I'm grabbing his arm. I'm like, no. I got to be there by like a certain time or I don't get in for the surgery. So off we went after a little bit of some yelling.
That's hilarious.
And that doesn't happen often in Hope. That was what was funny about it.
It's pretty chill in Hope.
Yeah. So we went there. I got in, I don't know if you ever had surgery or not, but I got in this like suit that they have that's like it like heats inside, so it's like warming your body because you want to be as warm as possible.
Core temperature.
And so I'm in this thing for like fucking 4 or 5 hours, dude.
Oh wow.
Waiting for surgery, and I'm in this room all by myself, just waiting and watching shitty TV, going crazy. And finally they came in. They said, we gotta send you home.
Oh no. Doctor canceled?
No, this poor little girl got wrecked in a car accident and needed kidney. It was bad. And I'm like, no problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm all good.
Yeah.
So I went home. I said, all I want is like another date.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, come back Monday in the morning and I'll be the first one of the day. Right? So I said, okay, cool. So I got the weekend to chill out. So anyway, I went back Monday, and it was really ironic because I had only met the surgeon on Friday. It wasn't the same surgeon I had for my knee that did 2 surgeries on me because he's in Surrey.
Yeah.
So this guy, I can't remember his name right now. Harold something. Ramos. Harold, no. Isn't that the guy from Ghostbusters? Maybe he did the surgery.
Yeah.
So anyway,
an actor.
I can't remember his name, but it didn't matter. He started saying to me, he goes, so you wrecked this ankle before? I was like, well, fuck, like 100 times. Like, I skateboarded and snowboarded for 30-something years.
Yeah.
He's like, no, but you broke it before. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he goes, well, that piece of bone that's stuck in between those other bones, he says,
that's from a
he
different
says, look
break.
at this x-ray. And he pulls x-rays from my past surgeries, and it's stuck up on my leg over here. I said, well, then that happened in 2012.
Oh wow.
Right? I said, I remember, because I dislocated my ankle.
Yeah.
Not thinking you can't dislocate your ankle unless you remove part of the bone.
Oh.
So 5 times over 7 years, I had broken my ankle, including when I went for the tibia surgery. The doctors broke it while I was in the surgery because I woke up complaining about my ankle, and they were like, the nurses didn't believe me.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, wow.
She's like, no, you had surgery on your knee. I said, I know. Don't you think it's weird I'm complaining about my ankle? And she's like, you're just high.
You're just on drugs.
So now this guy, same story as before. I got a 45-minute surgery scheduled, 4 hours and something.
Because it's got to fix everything.
Fixed everything.
Wow.
Jeez. So
I left that surgery. Like I always say, I walked out with no pain. I didn't walk because I wasn't allowed to walk for 4.5 months. But I had no pain at all. It took 7 years of pain away from me.
Wow.
I had been dying internally.
Yeah.
For this long. And now my brain is going, because he tells me this as I'm passing out.
Yeah.
So like in the surgery, my brain is calculating everything.
Yeah.
Right? And when I broke my ankle, my dad died right after, like within a week or something.
Oh, jeez.
So I had gone back to Ontario and dealt with that.
Yeah.
Not my ankle. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so all this time I'd been blaming the pain in my ankle on my knee being so messed up, when reality was I had a broken ankle that was tearing my knee apart.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So all this, you know, me finally going to the doctor in 2015 was smart.
Yeah. But you should have done it earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
But but I should have gone for my ankle. Never even knew, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that was a long healing process from that one. So that happened July 3rd in 2019, and I started walking about 3 days before Halloween. I was allowed to finally walk with my cane. And so that was the end of 2019. So it was pretty much like around the time that COVID thing was starting.
Yeah.
Around March of 2020 was when the snow was melting at our house, and we were starting to skate in the street. Like we like to build little plywood pieces and got a little quarter pipe, whatever.
Cool.
And we were just dicking around in the street, and I was starting to skate again. It was really hard, 3 times in 4 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I spent over 2 years out of those 4 years on crutches and canes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So every time I learned to walk, I got broken again. And I knew they were coming, or I didn't know they were coming. And then, and it was like, I lost a lot of hair. I don't know.
It's
you guys can't see me on this. My hair is down to my waist, which people think is really long.
Mm-hmm.
But I complain every day about how short my hair is, because it used to be almost to my ankles.
Wow.
And from all the pain that my body went through and my brain went through, my hair not only stopped growing, my fingernails were barely growing. I had to cut my fingernails like once every 6 to 7 weeks.
Wow.
Instead of every week.
Yeah.
Right? My hair was breaking. It was so brittle and dry that it was just breaking off in like 1 and 2 foot chunks.
Just from the wear and tear of all those injuries.
Yeah.
Stress.
Like I was literally dying, right? And
wow.
You talk about strength and who the strongest people in the world are, right? Like you can lift anything you want, but like until you fucking lift yourself back up from not being able to move.
Yeah, for sure.
I give a lot of these guys so much props for what they go through and injury and
absolutely,
people
man.
who have been like
mentally too.
Lost their ability to walk completely and persevere through it.
Yeah.
Like there's so much of that in the world, and like that is strength.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I don't take prescription drugs for any reason.
Wow.
So
not even Advil.
I took Motrin for the swelling.
Yeah, and that's it.
Pot cookies.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
That's it.
Now we're talking. My
That
favorite.
was it.
Smart.
And lots of avocados.
Those are good.
Yeah. And so it was like spring 2020, and I just needed to like be alone. but not fully alone.
Yeah,
like
for
I
sure.
wanted my family around, and I
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
certain people around.
Yeah.
But I didn't want the world around anymore.
Yeah.
And so I gave away like all my competitions that I had like contracts for.
Yeah.
And I dropped all my sponsorships. I kept Protest Skateboards, but I don't really like do anything with it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a necessity to work on or anything.
Yeah.
And I just cleared my plate completely. And I said to Kale, I said, we're going to go skate just for us
Yeah.
this
For
year.
sure.
Like, just for us. Like, we're not even bringing the fucking cameras out.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
might film some stuff on our phones or whatever, but
Yeah.
like, the video cameras never left the house,
Good.
you know? And it was really strange at first after, like, being out there filming all day, every
Yeah.
day, all the time.
Just a good reset.
Yeah, and so summertime came, and now the world is in a lockdown, but of course I don't believe any of it. So I'm like not in a lockdown, but I live in a fucking lockdown anyway.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like there's no one around us anyway. But we would go to like the skate parks and
Nobody around.
whatever. Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. So like I made a pact for myself. I said, this summer, 2020, I'm not gonna do any tricks. I'm just gonna skate. So we would go to like Chilliwack Bowl, and I would just tear around the fucking bowl. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
even grind the coping. I might
Yeah.
air out at the end or like launch the hip or
Yeah.
whatever. But that's just part of the run. And if I didn't land it, I didn't try it again,
Yeah.
because what I needed was no frustration.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more frustrating than having a lot of knowledge
Yeah.
that you know you can do stuff,
Yeah.
but when you try it, it doesn't work because
Yeah,
your
yeah.
body doesn't work
Yeah. Your body's just
It's
giving
not
up.
Really
there.
hard.
It's not there for you
mentally.
anymore.
So like I needed all that out.
Yeah.
And so the whole summer we just had a great time.
That's cool.
We just went like all over the place and had fucking fun, and it was like no pressure,
Yeah.
no eyes,
Yeah.
and it was what skateboarding was all about in the first place to me.
For sure.
And I got to do it with like my best buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty
Who
awesome.
thinks he's better than me?
Yeah.
So I had to step
Are
it
you
up.
better than your dad
I
or
had to
what?
step it up. You know?
Not yet, right? You will be in a couple of years.
Well, I can't be better than him.
Whoa. Okay.
Why
He has
not?
more knowledge.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, but
Smart kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right. Smart kid.
Yeah.
So in that time, I also
that's cool.
I had a couple people that were kind of like bugging me to teach their kids, right?
Nice.
And I was always avoiding teaching, right? Just because it's painful for me.
Yeah.
And
Oops.
yeah, I said, you know what? I said, I'll teach your kids as long as it's at the Hope skate park, so I don't have to go far.
Yeah.
And it's only a few kids. So it was
Yeah.
like, Kellen was helping me teach.
That's cool.
And what did we have? We had Kylie, who's my daughter.
Yeah.
She was 4. Then another
That's
4-year-old, Killian. And then we had this kid, Avery, who was like one of my old film agent's son.
That's cool.
And he was about 13. So it was an interesting group.
Yeah,
A couple 4-year-olds
Yeah.
and a 13-year-old. So Kellen spent a lot of time with Avery.
Yeah.
And yeah, we met once a week. I think it was Wednesdays or something in the afternoon at the Hope skate park. It's always really dead there.
Yeah.
And we'd either go there or we'd go out to Yale, which is up Highway 1, and there was like a little indoor ramp under a shelter there. And I just got to feel that energy again of like watching people learn.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like my
How
biggest addiction of
rewarding
life
it
is
is.
learning.
Yeah.
You know, Rodney Mullen, best example ever.
Yeah.
This guy invented how much shit
Yeah.
because
One of the best. Maybe
he
the
wants
best.
to learn it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like, so I started thinking, you know, after about the first month, I was like, this is what I'm made for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah.
we talked about Andy a lot.
Yeah.
He was a big superstar
Yeah.
in my eyes from a young age.
Yeah, you-
and,
you-
and,
you
and he
saw
built
it.
himself into that with my help,
Yeah.
right? All the other kids, like I had a kid who I taught since he was 9. By the time he was 17, he was a full-on entrepreneur. He was still in high school. He was making $25,000 a month.
Wow.
On a website.
That's awesome.
I taught him how to skateboard, but I also taught him how to, be that
monetize
that
yourself.
person, right? And he was the one running all my websites.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
As a kid, but
Yeah.
like,
So
I put that energy back, and I was just like, how do I do this? How do I like make a spot where I can do this again? And my friend Britt, who owns 50 Skateboards, he had his spot in Langley, but he wanted to move. He didn't like his location, right? And I said, maybe I'll go in on a warehouse with you. I'll build a small indoor.
Cool.
You can have the shop in the front, and then our staff will interjoin to teach lessons and run the park and run the shop all together, right? He was stoked.
Yeah.
Because he knows me, and he knows my business sense. Like,
Yeah.
But then I was at home, and I was like, but that doesn't help me. That just gives me work to do from home again.
Yeah.
I'm already doing that shit, and I'm sick of it. I need to actually be out there again. Like, I need to be busy.
Yeah.
And Kylie's at the age where she was just going into preschool. She goes to school this year. So I have that freedom back. I was the one that was home with her all the time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was just, in a scramble brain. And my wife said, well, what about the old Rona building in Hope? Like, have you looked at that? It's just been sitting there empty, leaking in the roof, right? And I said, yeah,
That'd
right?
be
And then I looked at the lease sign. And the realtor is one of my friends. So I was like, perfect. So I phoned him. I said, Dave,
You get a discount?
I want to check the Rona. And he's like, sweet, right?
That's
so
cool.
We met there the next day. And this is like in August. And like literally from the second he opened the door,
You knew.
I could picture the park. Because I've been in the Rona building so many times. I already knew the layout of it. But I was like, I could feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, this is what it is. And the rent in Hope,
It's not too bad.
right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very cheap. You know what I
That's
mean?
cool.
Like, if you went to Chilliwack, I'd be paying double.
Yeah.
If you went down here, I'd be paying triple.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you more of my secrets on how to make that place work. But, like, all I knew was that it would work. Okay? I don't have any money. I just spent 4 years in rehab.
Yeah. For sure.
I have a big debt. I don't have any money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to figure out how to buy groceries, and I'm about to lease this place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
But I have this brain telling me that it's going to work.
Yeah.
And I always follow my brain.
Yeah. For sure.
And so whatever, it took about 2 months, almost, maybe a month and a half and a bit, to get the lease all worked out. So first, I went in, I met Dave, we walked through the place. I said, great. We went back a week later, I brought some dudes, we took some photos. Great. We set up an appointment to meet with the owner, talk to him, because it's just a lease. They still own it, right? And they were totally stoked for what I wanted to do.
Nice.
Right? Like, I don't want, like I told them, I'm not building an indoor skate park for like the top skaters of the world. I'm building a place where I'm going to build a whole bunch of new skateboarders.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is
From the ground up.
This is
The
going to be a
community,
youth
the
center
youth.
vibe, clubhouse vibe, right? Like,
Teaching them life skills.
dude, it's just a fucking place in a town that's never had it.
Yeah. For sure.
Right?
Awesome.
And so, of course, they're stoked. Plus, someone's going to pay their bills,
Yeah.
right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell him I had no money. So yeah. Anyway, I had these people lined up to loan me some money,
Nice.
and that all fell through.
Wow.
But not till after I signed the lease.
Wow,
So then,
perfect.
Yeah, always the best time.
Yeah.
Just tell me that. So anyway, we worked on the lease, and I worked on getting insurance before I would sign the lease, of course, because getting insurance on a skate park is hard enough.
Yeah.
But if you ever come there, I've got an indoor skate park and a skate shop. I have 2 rental apartments. I have a workshop in the back where I do all my woodworking.
Oh, wow.
Like a friggin' 1,500 square foot workshop.
Wow.
So I got table saws, band saws, everything hooked up in there. I've got another building where I subleased out to 2 people because I put in the conditions of the lease that I was allowed to sublease, right?
Yes.
To pay my rent. And so I rent that out to programming on one side for a jiu-jitsu studio. And the other side is a guy that does like fabrication, same thing as my workshop, it's his workshop, hobby shop. And so before signing this lease, I have all this in my head of what's about to happen and my plans, and I speak full truth to insurance,
Yeah.
right? And only one person quoted it. And it wasn't just the liability of all the stuff I was going to do in there. It was the shape of the building. So it's an older building,
Oh.
and it's wood frame, and a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
insurance companies don't want to insure wood frame anymore.
The fire.
And I was like, man, this building's been leaking
Oh, yeah.
for fucking 10 years. It's not going to light on fire. Everything's soaked inside, right?
The wood's
We'll
wet.
just keep it wet. We'll keep it wet.
The insulation is like a different, material now. So anyway,
That's beautiful.
the quote came in $22,000 for the year,
Wow.
just the insurance.
Wow.
So I'm like,
Oh, jeez.
okay,
Let's do it. I'm in.
right? What else am I
Yeah.
gonna say?
Nothing
It's
else
either
you
yes
do.
or no.
You're
So
already
that's just
in.
another cost.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, we signed the papers for the insurance. Then I called the realtor. I said, let's get the lease done. I'm already paying insurance
Yeah.
right now. So we got the lease signed on October 6th. And as I walked away with the keys, I was like, okay, how am I going to pay this deposit?
Wow.
Right? And so I don't even remember, to be honest, I don't even remember what I did, where
Yeah.
I got that deposit money. I can't even remember. Somebody helped me.
Yeah.
And right away I put out the vibe to the people that mattered around
Yeah.
me. This is what I'm doing. If you want to
Jump
help
on
in any
board.
way. And I had my friend Paul Kadji, who's not alive anymore.
Oh, jeez.
His mom always said to me, she used to buy complete skateboards and just show up at the skate park
And
when
give
I
them
was
out.
teaching lessons and say, every kid gets a new skateboard. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Wow.
She
Yeah,
would
yeah,
always
yeah.
say,
That's cool.
if you're ever doing anything in skateboarding, let me know and I'll help you out, because it would mean a lot to me in it, because it would mean a lot to Paul. Right?
Oh, wow.
And I talked to her and I said, I'd love to make a tribute in there for Paul's sake. If you want to donate some money and help out in any way, we'll do a big mural on the wall and whatever we can do. The lessons will be dedicated to him, everything, right?
Oh.
And so she donated $10,000.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And so that helped me get things going
Mhm.
in the sense of like, okay, I'm alive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And Andy's parents chipped in a bit, helped me out
That's cool.
later on in the venture.
Yeah.
I was still thinking that this loan was going to happen, so I just kept squeezing, and
Yeah.
my friend
Yeah.
Terry lent me some money, and at the time I was like, I think I can fundraise all this money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
And then COVID, or you're in the middle of COVID, so now you can't have any fundraisers because you can't have
but I
more
can
than.
have online fundraisers.
Oh,
you
that's
can.
right. Yeah.
And I have a powerful online presence.
That's cool.
So I did a fundraiser, which was
Yeah.
is these shirts I'm wearing. So
HM in.
this says Hippie Mike Industries,
That's
Right.
cool.
right? HM Industries, and on the back there's an eyeball and it says I helped build. And then so you could buy this type of shirt,
Yeah.
or you could buy one that says just I helped build HM Industries on the front. And there's T-shirts for $50.
Yeah.
There was hoodies for $100.
Yeah.
There was skate decks, only 100 made for $100.
Wow.
And the shirts and the hoodies were pre-booked. Everything was pre-booked,
Yeah.
but the decks we knew we were making 100.
Yeah.
But the shirts and the hoodies, you ordered it, then I took the order to my printer every 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever it was, and he would pump them out.
That's
And
cool.
we'd ship them. And so we raised, probably 15,000 doing that. It was a big number. And in that time, all that money was just going towards expense
Yeah, for sure.
to build the place, right?
Yeah.
And in that same time, like, someone that his kids go to school with Kaelin, and I guess he used to rollerblade at Bear Creek when I used to skate
No
there.
way.
So he
So doing tricks too?
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
his name's James, and he messages me. He says, "You know that Jamie Davis is selling 20-foot 2x4s right now?" And I'm like, "Who the hell even has 20-foot 2x4s?" That was my first question.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a woodworker, you know what I mean? Like, where do you get
Yeah.
20-foot 2x4s
He's
in Canada?
chopping up trees himself.
And why does Jamie Davis have them? But anyway, you know who Jamie Davis is? Highway Through Hell, the TV
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Okay?
Oh, because he probably
A truck
flipped.
flip.
Oh, that's
wow.
awesome.
A big truck flip. Not a mafia truck.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
real.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went down there and I talked to his wife's mom that was
That's
there,
cool.
and I said, "Well, what are you guys selling for?" And so they're $10 each. So like 20-foot 2x4s, $10 each. Fucking good deal.
Yeah. Really good.
Especially if you look at wood now. But
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
This
when
is
it
back
blued
in
up.
October, November last year.
Ballooning up.
So I said, okay, well, they also had OSB sheets, but they were 3x6. So all this stuff was Japan. It was bound for
Bound?
Japan.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the sizes that we
That's
don't
weird.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, so they say J grade on them. That's when I figured it out. My friend was like, "That's Japan grade."
Okay.
So, so I said, okay, well, I'll figure out what I can afford, and then I'll come back. And I said, I'll need it delivered though, because I can't throw 20-footers in my truck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
She says, yeah, no problem. We got a flatbed, right? So, okay. So I went, there's about 2 or 3 days. I call her and I said, okay, I can do about $1,200 to $1,500. So give me like 120 of the 2x4s, and then however many sheets of OSB, like 70 sheets of OSB or something. And they were only like $3 a sheet.
Oh,
So
that's cheap.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, no problem. She says, okay, my guy will call you on the weekend. So this dude Gord phones me on the weekend, on Saturday, and he says, I'm loading up your stuff, so like, how much did you want again? So I tell him, okay. Calls me back. He says, well, the 2x4s are in bundles of 216. I said, but I can only afford 120. Right? And he's like, okay. Yeah, I'll figure it out, right? So he shows up with the whole bundle, and he said, Jamie says it's better for you to sort through it than us. Like, it's our time.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you just use what you use.
We'll come back.
We'll come
pick
back
it
and get
up.
what you don't use, and then you can pay for it all later.
Wow.
So, okay, wicked, right? I know I'm going to use the whole bundle. So, anyway,
Oh boy.
I say, you want to see the park, like what I'm doing?
Yeah, yeah.
I walk him through the building. I tell him the whole story, why I'm there, everything.
That's cool.
It's a very like heartfelt story and whatever. And I wasn't trying to get anything out of him.
No,
I just-
absolutely. But like,
just
who
telling 'em.
who
Yeah.
wouldn't want to help? And you're investing in kids in the
right.
future.
Yeah.
And if we want to keep kids away from gang, look what's going on right now, right?
Right.
Kids need something to do. They need to believe in themselves and something. So like, yeah,
And this
who
is
wouldn't
in-
want to get on
this is
board
in
with something
Jamie's
like this?
town.
Absolutely.
Like he
Yeah.
raises his kids in this town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His kids went to Kaelin
Yeah.
school,
Yeah,
right? Like so anyway,
that's great.
Gord calls me Sunday. He says, I talked to Jamie, and he said, just keep the wood that we dropped off yesterday, and we're going to bring you another bundle of 2x4s.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we're just going to donate it.
Nice.
He said, and the show will be calling you.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So Highway Through Hell, they called me later that day, and they started coming by and like filming some stuff, right?
That's cool.
So like, of course, they filmed the next load getting dropped off and the donations, and
Yeah.
they filmed actually me building the first piece of the first ramp,
That's cool.
and they came and filmed some skating as stuff was progressing. They came quite a few times.
That's so cool.
So there should be a bunch on the show at some point.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so it's like really like, you know,
Well, it makes you feel good that the people that are, you
Yeah.
know, they want to see the same vision that you
That's right.
have.
Yeah.
and as soon as I announce that online, because obviously I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah,
give these
for
guys
sure.
props. I'm not trying to brag. I'm going to give them props for helping me out. Well, then the phone starts ringing,
Absolutely.
right? So like my other
Snowball.
friend Jamie Medill, he owns a restoration company called
Yeah.
PPCR
Yeah.
in Richmond, and he's like, well, what do you need? And he's like, I want to help you. What do you need? And I was like, well, what do you got? He's like, you tell me what you need and I'll tell you if I got it. I'm like, well, I need plywood, I need doors, I need friggin', I just start naming shit, paint. And he's like, okay, so I'll get back to you. And he emails me a list of like
What he has.
stuff, and he's like, come down to the warehouse and like look at it, tell me if there's anything else, like walk through the warehouse, right? So like he just started sending me whatever, and I would just get whoever was coming out that way that I knew to just go grab it and bring it, right?
That's awesome.
So like all the painting in the
Networking.
whole place, didn't buy a can of paint.
Wow.
All the fucking doors that we put, like when we built walls, didn't buy a door. You know, like I can't remember everything else he donated.
That's
but,
awesome.
Lots of plywood. He still has stuff. He donated a pool table. Like he still has stuff
Awesome.
sitting there for me right now
Yeah.
that I just haven't had time to go back and get. Right? And so between him, Jamie Davis, he ended up donating 3 bundles of 2x4s over the time, which
Wow.
is 648 20-foot 2x4s. I
Wow.
used every single one.
That's
Okay?
awesome.
He donated close to 200 sheets of OSB because we had to redo that entire back building where the jiu-jitsu studio is going. And like almost 50 semi-tires that were in his yard, brought him over. We made a floating floor for the jiu-jitsu studio. So it's kind of like the wrestling ring when you slam the guy at bounces, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, totally awesome. Right? And then they also
Helps with concussions. That's for
brought
sure.
the flatbed up to Sunshine Valley, where I have like Kevin Harris had a bunch of pieces from the RDS skate park stored up in a barn up there.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, all I want to bring down is platforms because I'm building up the one floor 5 feet high from the ground. So I build the walls out of all the 2x4s that Jamie gives me. Then I put these platforms on top and then just resheet with plywood. Right?
Yeah.
Then Andy's dad, Paul, he donated a whole bunch of plywood to me because he owns a hardwood flooring company.
Oh, that's
right?
beautiful.
So he donated a bunch of plywood that I resheeted everything. Kyle, that owns Kyle Dion, owns New Line Skate Parks. He donated a full lift of 3/8 plywood for the bowl. Right? The church across the road came in, gave me $500.
That's cool.
People were just like, someone e-transferred me $15 from the UK.
Wow.
You know,
No
like,
way.
That's
didn't,
cool.
didn't ask for anything. I'm like, you want a shirt or something? They're like, no, man, the
No,
shipping
man.
would be crazy.
That's cool.
You know, like everyone was just there, and you know, like every day is still a financial stressful situation.
Yeah.
But not once was I ever like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
work. It was like, okay, it's gonna work. So just put my fucking head down
Yeah.
and build this park.
Yeah.
Right? So October 6th, I took the lease. The first 3 weeks, I renovated the one apartment upstairs
Yeah.
so that my friend could move in.
Mhm.
And then November 1st, I was building the skate park. And my
Wow.
birthday is November 15th. We had a party in the shop on the first ramp. The 16-foot wide, 3-foot high mini ramp that's like your centerpiece.
Wow.
And right above it is this huge mural of Paul Kaji.
Oh, that's
wow.
great.
Right? And yeah, dude, it's like it all just came
Wow.
together. And so like now I'm really good at time management. So I know what's your busiest times a year is spring, summer, any of the holidays,
Yeah.
and obviously Christmas time.
Mm.
So my goal is to teach lessons in this place.
Yeah.
Well, kids are out of school for 2 weeks. We need to be open somehow, some way for Christmas.
Yeah.
Right? So I just 14-hour days, boom, 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 just start building this park. And if people showed up to help, great. If they didn't, I don't care. I'm there. I built. And we had the first section of the park completely built, and the store completely functional,
Wow.
except cash only, because they sent me the wrong iPad.
Oh boy.
3 times. But we'll not get into that. But December 15th, I had it open.
Wow.
That's awesome.
We taught probably 60 to 70 kids over Christmas break.
Holy cow.
And only the first section of the park was built. There's 3 sections.
So do they have like a membership, or do you charge per session, or how
Both.
does that work?
Both. So you can pay $15 to drop in anytime, any day that we're open for the whole day. It's not hourly or any of that bullshit.
Yeah.
That's great.
You can leave, you can come back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You can buy a monthly membership for $90.
Oh, wow.
Skate all month. Every day we're open all day
Wow.
for $90. You can
Wow.
buy a full year pass from calendar year January to December for $400.
Wow.
And then Paul came up with a lifetime pass idea that I thought was a great idea for $1,000.
Wow.
But we blew them out in December for $500.
Yeah.
So that brought in a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think I sold close to 30 of them
Nice.
at $500.
Yeah.
So that put me where I needed to be in December to now start operating the business. Less donations are coming because
Yeah,
the
for
business
sure.
is starting to run.
Right.
People are going to be like, well, why would I donate to your business?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
make,
yeah.
looks like you're
Um,
making money.
Yeah, looks like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're never making money.
Yeah, no,
So-
for sure.
So we had that section done. I had the floor framed up in the second part. And while the park was operating, I built the second section and had it open for a New Year's Eve party.
Nice.
I put the last screw in. I walked over to the door and opened it for the party at 5 p.m.
Wow.
It was 50 tickets sold because it was a 50-person max. So it was
Yeah.
actually 40 tickets sold, and then we had
Staff.
our staff and whatever. So I tried to keep it at the 50 max. The cops showed up because someone across the road called them because, you know, the way like ticket events are, doors open at 5, special guest Andy Anderson's in the house. Everybody's getting there right at 4:45. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
literally car,
Oh,
Ah.
because park.
people.
and park,
Somebody
yeah.
calls the cops.
Oh
Right.
boy.
So the cops show up at like 6:30 or something, and it was really funny. I was like way over at the other side doing something, and my wife comes, gets me. She says, the cops are here. They want to talk to you. So I go, and the cop says, so it's just like a bunch of kids and their parents. And I said, yeah, man. He's like, well, that's kind of hard to kick out. And I said, yeah.
Get
it
out
is hard
crying
to kick
kids.
out. And I said, basically, we got like one of the top skateboarders in the world here,
Yeah.
and they just all want to skate with them. It's New Year's Eve. They're having a good time,
Awesome.
right? And so he says, well, come outside for a minute. So I go outside. He says, first off, I just want to say thank you for building this place, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's like, this is like amazing for our town. Like,
Yeah,
he's
for sure.
stoked, right? He's like, second off, nobody in there is wearing a mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
So put masks on everybody right now. I said, okay. He says, third off, I got to put you under some sort of category. So I'm going to put you in line with pubs
Yeah.
because you're kind of like just, people are just floating around.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
says, your numbers look fine in there. You have
Yeah.
a huge space. There's 2,500 square feet of park space.
Right.
People are spread out. It's
Yeah.
all good. There's
They're socially
50 or 60
distancing.
people around, right?
Yeah.
And he says, that's all good. He says, there's no problem in there that I see other than the no mask part. He says, but I got to categorize you somehow, so I'm going to categorize you with pubs, which means you have till 9 o'clock. Okay? Because it was New Year's Eve. Of course, they had a lockdown on what time you
at
can
9,
party till.
Done.
Oh,
So-
right.
So I said, okay. I said, so who's allowed here after 9 o'clock? He goes, well, people, he says, staff and people who are helping you clean up. said, okay, cool. I said, I think we're going to have a pretty big cleanup crew tonight.
Yeah.
He just kind of laughed and whatever. And he says, just make sure I don't come back, right?
Oh,
And-
awesome.
And off he went for the night. And they never came back. And we had a great time. We were there till about 1.
Yeah.
A lot of people did leave at 9 just
Yeah.
in case they did come back. But a lot of those people had driven from Vancouver
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Surrey and all these places to come and have fun. So it actually worked out where they got to be at home for the New Year's. They didn't have to drive home late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to hang out at the party. They got to meet Andy Anderson and skate with him. They got to meet me and hang out and get stuff signed by the whole team. And it was a great event. We'd only
That's
been
cool.
open for 2 weeks.
That's cool. I was in bed by 8:45.
With who?
No, just for being old. How about you, little man? Were you there or what?
Yeah, I was a bit. I was.
Yeah, it was a
awake
blast or
and-
what?
I was awake for New Year's.
Yeah, not me, man. I don't think I've been awake for New Year's for like the last 7 years.
Yeah, you're getting
I
old.
always celebrate the 9 o'clock New Year's, the New York New or the Easter.
That's right.
New
Yeah.
Year's.
So yeah. So
That's
Wow.
cool.
that was basically like how the park started. So we've never had an actual grand opening or anything
Yeah,
yet because
Because you couldn't,
my grand opening is going to be huge. So I'm not going
Yeah.
to even bother trying to have
Until
one
it-
until
no restrictions.
I could probably have one now.
Yeah.
But it's too hot in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You need
wait.
air conditioning.
So I'm working on some outside obstacles right now that
Cool.
we're going to do a best trick contest on in September,
Nice.
Awesome.
and that'll probably be like our first big event.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, big thanks to the whole community, and
Yeah, for sure. Was the mayor on board as well? Like, you,
I guarantee he or she is on board, but I couldn't tell you their name.
yeah.
The district,
Oh, they
stoked.
I'm
Ev-
sure that-
absolutely,
Everyone in Hope,
absolutely.
fucking over the top
They would have to be.
excited
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
place, and
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
today, like.
That's cool.
So I've had First Try Foundation, which is part of Braille.
Yeah,
They donated a bunch of money towards my programs.
cool.
And then just recently I got a grant from Fraser Health.
Nice. I was just gonna ask you if you ever looked into any grants or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. So I got
Awesome.
a $9,000 grant from Fraser Health right at the beginning of the summer.
Huge shout out to Fraser Health.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, Fraser Health. And,
Yep.
and that grant is specified to helping kids that can't afford it. So, like,
Beautiful.
I wrote what I was looking
Yeah.
to do, and they accepted it, which was boost up our loaner product. So
Yeah.
when First Try Foundation, they donated 10,000, and when Paul's mom Linda donated 10,000, we bought a bunch of equipment that we can loan out to kids. But we go through it like
Yeah, for sure.
it gets old fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're constantly replacing that stuff, and so this money, some of that went to that, and then the rest went to 25 kids that could apply to just come for free lessons. So
Awesome.
like, you don't need to have a board.
Yeah,
You can borrow a board, you can borrow a helmet, you can borrow the pads.
that's cool.
You get a $75 or $50, whatever age group you're in, week of lessons. Plus you get a 10 punch pass, which is good for 10 drop-ins, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
After. And so far we've had about 10 people run through that. Doesn't matter if they all go in the summer or if it
Yeah,
takes the
yeah,
rest
for
of the year
sure.
to do it.
Yeah.
So Fraser Health, you know, that was a big one. They're
That's
stoked,
beautiful.
and they just dropped in the other day actually to see the place and
Cool.
ask how it was going. So yeah, the whole city, you know, it's obviously the talk of the town. There's 5,000 people in Hope,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
And so I do remember, like, in Kaelin, you remember, like, when it started, we couldn't go anywhere
Yeah.
without everybody being like, that's that
Oh,
hippie
that's
Mike
cool.
guy. That's that
Hippie
hippie
Mike.
Mike guy, right?
Yeah.
And I've been kind of hiding out the whole time I've been in Hope, right? 'Cause I don't live in the town of Hope.
Right.
I
Yeah.
live,
yeah.
Outskirts.
I live up the hill, so
That's
I'm like
awesome.
that Grinch up on the mountain.
Yeah.
the Grinch that keeps on giving,
Yeah,
That's right.
right?
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
no,
give
and-
back though, it's it's a rewarding feeling, right? Like, you know, I think now more than ever, like, kids need something to do, man. Like,
Holy cow!
like
yeah.
it's
Well, that you know,
You know.
we proved it
yeah,
by how many kids were in there every friggin' day.
That's
Even right
cool.
now, it's 38 degrees, and there's kids skateboarding inside today.
Wow.
Not just at the lessons, but they're coming. They're waiting for those
Yeah.
lessons to be over so that they can show up and skate all day because that's their spot. And part of that, which is a huge thing for me as a parent and just as a person,
Yeah.
is the parents can leave their kids there
Yeah.
and not worry about them. You take
Yeah,
them to
for
the
sure.
outdoor park,
Yeah.
No, yeah, kids
especially
with
when COVID was on and the rec centers are closed.
Yeah.
What happens to these kids when they need help?
yeah,
Where do they go? Where do they go to the bathroom? The fucking bathrooms outside were locked.
Locked. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? The gas station doesn't even.
They weren't
let
even
you
letting
in the
them.
bathroom.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
jeez.
right.
Like,
no.
so what were your kids going to do in this
Yeah.
whole time? And then the funny part is, the kids keep coming. Now the parents are there. Some of the ones that stick around, they're like, you know what, I could probably skate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, get them on the
They
board.
start skating with
Oh
their
boy,
kids.
Yeah,
like
that's
Tommy boy over
Yeah,
here.
at 30, man.
It's
It's never too late.
it's never.
It's never too
It's
late.
never too late to do anything
Yeah. I mean,
if you want to do it.
you might not, be world champion, but
You might not succeed.
yeah, but you'll have fun. You'll definitely have fun.
So
Either at the park or at the hospital, one or the other.
yeah.
Hopefully at the park.
Hopefully at the park. That's right.
So let's hear it from someone that is not us, and is not adult. My man, Big Rip. Tell us your, what is the skate park about? What is HMI to you? And what do you see when you're there with all the other kids that go there? Like, what is it?
I feel like it's all about having fun and like learn new things. And then just having a good spot to hang out and meet new people.
Yeah.
And like try and have as much fun as you want and express yourself in your own way.
Now you,
Well said.
most people wouldn't know this, but I'm huge on kids teaching kids. So like, Kaelen's been teaching lessons probably since he was about 7,
Wow.
right? And
Wow.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
started skateboarding at 7.
Yeah,
started
he's teaching. So he
skateboarding
started
at 7.
at 2, started skateboarding at 2, teaching at 7.
He started skateboarding at 6 months.
Yeah.
He was skateboarding in the womb. I got pictures. Dude.
Yeah, I believe it.
So like, what does it feel like to be a kid teaching kids that you go to school with? Because that's weird.
Yeah.
And crazy, but like, isn't that the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, it just feels like you're basically hanging out with your buddies, but instead you're trying to teach them new things. Instead of like just hanging out. But you're doing both at the same time.
And they all accept that?
Yep. Most of them.
It's pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like, I try not to teach right now. I'll do a couple private lessons with mainly adults.
Right. Yeah.
But just because the guys that I have teaching maybe don't have the experience to teach people older than me,
right.
But it's really cool, like having, like teaching people how to teach is. It's always been what I do. I create something, I build it,
Yeah,
the systems are there, and then I leave.
yeah,
That's what I've always done. And these guys I got, at the skate park, it's Johnny, it's AJ, it's Kaelen,
cool.
kid Raiden, he's a teenager, and then Kelsey, who she actually just started skateboarding probably 3 months ago, and I have her teaching lessons. She learned at our skate camp, but she was learning so fast, and she was
Wow.
15. I said, you know what, like,
You should be teaching.
you should help teach because it's going to make you learn more.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
And it's going to encourage the kids that are just starting that you learn this much this fast,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, definitely give a shout out to where, like, if anyone's rolling through, say you're going up to the Okanagan or something, if you want to, hit the skateboard park, like, shout out to the address and stuff,
Yeah,
because
so-
you might get some people to come through.
it's HMI Skate Park, You look that up on Instagram, HMI Skatepark, and then
In Hope.
it's in Hope, and it's 840 Fifth Avenue.
Beauty.
If you get lost, you just ask anybody, where's the old Rona building?
Yeah.
Not the new Rona,
Yeah.
the old one. And they'll tell you where it is.
Or do you know Hippie Mike? We want to go to his place.
Yeah. Just ask for Hippie Mike. That's beautiful,
Skate
man.
park. There's only really 4 streets.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's in between them all, right? If you find the 4 main streets, it's in the middle somewhere.
That's
You
awesome.
know? There's train tracks right there.
And you have gear there too. They can buy shirts, boards,
Oh, yeah,
everything.
yeah. So we're running a skateboard shop that is specifically about skateboard equipment, not apparel. So like
Okay.
we do sell t-shirts and hoodies and that sort of stuff, mainly HMI gear.
Yeah.
But we don't have like shoe selection. Like we got sample shoes on the
Yeah.
wall and stuff. But we don't have like, hey man, get me a size 6 out of the back. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for
okay,
sure.
I'll be back like in 3 days.
Or now 3 months.
Meet me around the corner
Yeah.
at the Chinese food restaurant. Have your wallet ready. Chow mein coming up, right? But yeah, no, we're just really selling skateboard stuff, dude,
Yeah,
and
awesome.
like equipment that you need to skate with
Safely.
And, yep,
Yeah.
lot of helmets and pads
Yeah,
all day
for
long,
sure.
and we run on a regular month. Like average right now, we're running 50 to 60 kids a month through lessons.
Wow.
And we do, you either sign up in, so the summertime we're doing like Monday to Friday lessons, but on a regular school month, we do either Wednesdays or Saturdays that you sign up for. So you come every Wednesday for 4 weeks or every Saturday for 4 weeks.
Okay.
And combined in all that, we do 50 to 60 kids, and we have about a 20% growth in there every month. So
Wow.
20% of those
That's-
50 to 60 kids
that's
will be
massive.
new kids that never skated before or never went in our lessons before. I have people that drive
That's
from
huge.
Surrey every Saturday.
Well, to bring the kids out.
Yeah, like my friend
Sure, why not?
Sean Sue.
Oh, I know that name.
Sean Sue Tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah. So her kids,
That's
wicked
awesome.
kids, Benton and Megan, they rip it, and they come every Saturday for the lessons.
That's cool.
And while they're in the lessons, Sean's in one of my back spots, tattooing and making money.
Nice.
You're kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
So
Smart.
like, full family has a good time.
That is
That's
awesome,
cool.
man.
Yeah, and it makes the drive more worth it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because
for
like,
sure.
if you're gonna pay gas money from Surrey every Saturday, let's make you that money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And who
she-
doesn't like tattoos?
And
Yeah.
she makes it anyway. She's got a high demand list, right? So,
Yeah, because I know that name.
hmm
I'm gonna have to check that out.
yeah,
Wow.
and yeah, people drive from there. They drive Abbotsford, Chilliwack all the time for lessons, dude. Like because there's
Yeah.
nothing anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I know Dan Peugeot is opening a indoor skate park right around the corner from here,
Oh, wow.
right across the street from Chuck Bailey there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He's been working on it for the same amount of time that I was working on mine.
Yeah.
I just went a lot faster.
Yeah.
But I know his is getting close to done.
That's
So
cool.
he'll probably be open, I would say no later than October, like for the winter anyway. And that's One Love, right?
Yeah.
One Love Skate Shop
Okay.
is, he has his location right by Bonser
Yeah.
in Burnaby, and then this will be his second location. So, and Dan Peugeot, if you don't know him, he is one of the most underrated Canadian skateboarders of all time.
Was he ramp or street?
All street. He
Street.
was doing like blunt slide, big spin flips before anybody knew
Wow.
what that meant. And
So he was kind of like how Moses was. Like
Yes.
wicked at street.
totally, yeah.
That's cool.
And inventing.
Mm-hmm.
And just great guy, real wholesome. He's always there for the right reasons.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I love the guy. I'm really happy that he's building something like this in the Lower Mainland.
Yeah.
It's way harder to run an indoor in the Lower Mainland than anywhere else in Canada because it's skatable all year outside, right? And
Yeah, if you're in Edmonton or something,
yeah,
You know,
you
when it-
need a place.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right? So
But
that place
here-
will survive.
yeah, yeah.
But here, I mean, in the rain, it rains so much. Did
Yeah.
you skate in the rain?
I sure as hell did.
You did, eh? Not me, man.
Me and Kaelin were skating in the rain on Saturday.
Really?
That must have felt awesome.
So
I was walking around in the rain. Loved it.
So yeah, I mean, the vibe's always out there.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
I think another thing about me is I don't ever try to compete.
Yeah.
I'll build my thing, you build your thing. And,
Absolutely.
And why don't we
It's
work
not a
together
pit,
each other?
it's not a
Sure.
pissing
right?
contest.
This
It's
this is skateboarding and
building
Yeah.
the community.
yeah, like that's one thing that always drives me nuts in the industry is money is money and
Yeah.
everybody wants it, but
Yeah.
it's more than that. It's about who you collaborate with and
Yeah, for sure.
and that and to me, I'm just like, I just want to see more people have fun in life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we used to do those presentations in the school. We'd show up at your school, 500 kids would sit in a gym on the floor,
Yeah.
and they'd watch a freestyle skateboard show for 20 to 30 minutes, and they'd be friggin' blown away.
Wow.
And then I'd get up and I'd just talk about, you know what, you got to go out there and you got to try baseball and soccer and skateboarding and biking and swimming and
yeah. Do stuff.
just try everything.
Yeah.
And you decide what you like. And when you find the things you like, then do those more than the other things. But don't stop doing the other things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, just expand your mind and your creative levels.
For sure.
And as you grow older, you'll adapt more to just doing certain things. You only have so much time.
Yeah.
You're going to focus on the things you love the most. But skateboarding was what kept all of us that were in that group. Skateboarding was our savior.
Mm.
It was what made us who we were. RCMP Troy, he's native, and he would
Yeah.
talk about the shit that he went through in Prince George growing up.
Yeah.
He was just really, really, really amazing baseball player.
Yeah.
But because he wasn't white,
Absolutely.
they all picked on him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
jeez.
it made him not want to play baseball.
Yeah.
So he would, it got
Yeah.
to the point where he just went and skated over on the other side of the parking lot while they're playing the game, his team.
And his game, the game that he was good at.
That's right.
And loved.
Jeez.
But he couldn't. The coach was a dick, and
Yeah.
and so he would talk about that to the kids in the school, and like, the thing that turned him around was Kevin Harris coming to his town and doing a demo and talking to him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not just doing a demo and leaving,
Yeah, for sure.
being like, yeah, man, you skate, give him props and
Yeah.
keep riding your board, you're doing awesome, and just encouraging him, and that was the thing that lived inside him forever.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we try to portray is like, I know that out of 1,000 kids I teach to skateboard, maybe 10 of them will do it for their whole life.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
No.
At least we got to teach them something,
Yeah.
and they got to learn something,
Yeah.
and hopefully they had fun doing it.
Yeah. They expanded their mind and they met cool people, learned something, maybe some life skills, and they learned from
That's
a good
all it's
teacher.
about. Like, what type of legacy do you want to leave behind as well, right? Like,
That's exactly right.
you're building a brand. You're building something that, is great for the community. Like, everybody should be on board for something like this.
Yes.
Like, absolutely, right? Like,
Yeah, dude. Whether you like skateboarding,
yeah,
or not.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just in general, for
And
sure.
You come in my spot this afternoon, for instance. Like even yesterday, there was a couple guys that came. One was from Saskatchewan, and the other one was from Australia. And
Wow.
they were just traveling around together, and they wanted to come to the park because they knew about it.
Cool.
And I said, well, perfect timing, because all the kids are tired and they're playing pool. So you got the whole park to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? But there's 12 kids here.
Yeah.
There's not just a skate park.
Yeah.
It's a youth center. It's a clubhouse.
That's cool.
It's their home away from home.
Yeah.
And we're there to supervise enough that
Yeah.
your kids are safe. You can feel like they're okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't have to worry about them. You don't have to think about them. They can phone you when they need to phone you, and off you go. And
That's cool.
that's just an important thing to me, is giving that to the community.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
I wish I had that when I was a kid.
don't we all?
you
Yeah,
know,
no, for
right?
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
A safe place to go and do what you love. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it feels good, and I can't wait till this first year is over. I think by the time we reach the end of this year, we're going to be in a really nice position where I can sit back a little bit
Yeah.
and focus more on the back end and creating those other ventures
Yeah.
and just getting more stoked for the place,
Yeah.
more people involved, however they want to be involved, and just seeing like all the kids that are coming constantly,
That's
watching
cool.
them grow.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Who's going to be the next Andy Anderson?
Yeah,
that's
for
right,
sure,
yeah.
man. That's crazy.
So, who's going to be the next Big Rip?
Yeah, Big Rippin'. What's up over there? You getting tired, man?
Got any
That's
burial
awesome.
heel flips?
No. Not right now.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So,
No, man, I'm so glad you came out. This is great.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries,
Yeah,
man.
it's good to meet you,
If
man.
there's anything else you want to add or any shout outs, man, just let her rip.
And we'll have to do this again.
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on in 6 months.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Or even before that.
I mean, like I said, once
Yeah.
once COVID is finally abolished,
Yeah.
and everyone forgets that it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's gonna forget. Really.
I forgot.
Actually, we got an event coming up
So-
on September 11th. It's I had a guy, our friend.
Jamie Kehoe.
Yes. Do you know?
And is that going to be at the Cloverdale Park?
Yeah, at the Cloverdale Park. Yeah.
Yeah, I ran one of those for him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
He would always have Chris from Street Dreams run it because they
Mhm.
did it in North Delta.
Yeah.
And the one year he asked me to help out with it as well.
Nice.
And that was, I don't know if he's done it since.
No,
But-
he stopped for. I think this will be the 9th one. Or
Okay, yeah, they must have done a couple more after I helped with that one.
yeah.
But yeah, great events and just all about the community. They
Yeah,
have,
the
you know.
kids, man, like crazy story. Poor, kid gets killed on a bus. Jesus.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I
Yeah,
remember
for
the
sure,
whole
man.
situation.
I don't even know why kids are carrying knives. Like, making stupid decisions, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll get events are going to be going off.
yeah,
Maybe not this year as much as next year, but I think
That's
when we
cool.
hit 2022, the skate scene is going to be on
So-
another level again. And,
I believe it.
everyone that complains about Olympics, like, it's just another contest. It didn't mean anything.
Yeah,
Who cares what it was?
yeah,
But the fact of the matter is, it's an event that promoted skateboarding.
yeah.
Yeah.
And was it the first year that the skateboarding went to the Olympics?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, what it does is it puts more kids on skateboards, and that is all you should care about.
yeah, you want to
Unless,
grow the
unless
sport.
you don't want people to skate near you or
Mhm.
Yeah.
whatever, or you don't want the skate industry to survive,
No.
then let it do what it's doing naturally
Yeah.
and promote skateboarding in general.
Yeah.
And quit being so friggin' picky about what part of it you're promoting.
Yeah.
Like, every person is different.
Yeah.
No one should be the same. That's
Well,
what skateboarding's all about.
Yeah, I think it's like well beyond the like, if you look at like skateboarding in the 80s and the 90s where dudes are cracking people over the head with
Oh,
their
yeah.
boards and stuff. It's beyond that now, right? Like, it's so mainstream. Like, you don't have to be radical anymore like to get that attention.
Oh, and you can still you can still go hide out
Yeah.
from the society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
That's
you
what
can do
that-
your thing, yeah.
that's what all these DIY spots are about,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you're under the bridge, you're
Mhm.
out of the way.
That's
you know,
right.
and
Yeah. It's
I helped evolve skateboarding into what it became.
Yeah.
They used to push the skateboarders away as far as possible.
Absolutely.
So, like, you go to the North Van skate park, Seal and Bowl, that is
Yeah.
the oldest park in Canada.
It's in the bush.
it was in the bush, but guess what? There's a whole bunch of high rises around it and a running track and all this shit.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the skateboarders are complaining. They're like, we used to have our own spot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when we did Chuck Bailey around the corner, that was a huge deal to have it where the bay door of the youth center opened up into the skate park.
Yeah.
And it was funny because all the older guys are coming and they're just like being themselves.
Yeah.
And the people in the city are coming to me. They're like, okay, every time we go out to the skate park, there's people smoking dope, they're drinking, they're right at the friggin' door. They're like, what do we do? And I said, just leave them alone.
Yeah.
I said, you guys built those people,
Yeah.
right? By pushing us out where no one could see.
Pushing
Yeah, for
away.
sure.
That's true. Yeah.
Just because you decided that now the public's going to see you
Yeah.
doesn't mean people are going to change. All you can do is build the next generation different.
Yeah, for sure.
You promote it different, right?
Yeah.
But those guys are those guys.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
fuck with them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they're the reason that you're building the skate parks in general. Because they
Yeah.
kept skating.
Yeah.
Right?
They kept it alive
That's right.
when it was dying. Well, I don't know if it was ever dying, but
Oh yeah,
It did. It
Yeah,
did.
it did.
Been
died
up and down a lot.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why this Olympics was a big deal. And
That's so cool.
ironically, I follow the industry a lot because I know everybody that runs
Yeah.
it. But skateboarding was in a bad spot. Part of it is the scooter phase. The kids are picking up these scooters and they think it's better. It might be a little bit easier, but it sure is not safer.
No.
If anyone's listening, don't let your kids scooter. Not because I don't like scooters. I don't care if they scooter. But I don't let mine touch them because that's how you lose your teeth.
Yeah,
Oh.
for
Like,
sure.
Man,
The injuries.
The bails these kids are taking because they feel safe,
Yeah.
but they're not. If you're on a bike, you have to balance this bike.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
You're on a skateboard, you got no hands. You're like concentrating on your feet.
Yeah.
These scooters, these kids literally think they're safe on them.
Oh, no.
And the bails I see these kids take scares the shit out of me.
Busting
I
teeth.
let them scooter at the park,
Yeah.
at the indoor. That's fine.
Oh, so they actually come
They can
and they do
scooter
the
at the
scooter
indoor.
tricks and
Yeah.
stuff? Oh, boy.
But I definitely encourage them all to start skateboarding.
Yeah.
I don't ever like say anything negative
Yeah, for
about
sure.
what they're doing. But if my kid picks up, and Kaelen's not this kid that I'm talking about. If Kylie picks up one of these kids' scooters, I'm like, no, it's too dangerous. And the way their parents look at me, they're like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just don't know. I know the difference, right? But that scooter phase hurt the industry bad to the point that like you'd walk into Toys R Us where there used to be this massive
Skate.
wall of shitty skateboards. That
Yeah,
The
like
ones
about.
that don't work. Yeah.
There's a friggin' section like a
Oh,
foot and a
no.
half with 4 boards on it, and then there's 3
Yeah.
massive shelves of scooters, right? And so like that's who's promoting this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't stop that from happening.
No.
And the industry took a big hit during that time. What was funny was when the Olympics, when we all knew it was going to happen, that puts a little bit of spark in the guys that are like, okay, well,
It's not dead after all.
We've seen this before where something reignites
Yeah.
skateboarding.
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully it works. But you want to know what happened instead before the Olympics? Because the Olympics was delayed, right?
Oh, that's right. A year and a
But
half.
what
or
happened?
whatever.
The world shut down. You weren't allowed to go anywhere. You weren't allowed to do anything. But what was still open? Skate parks,
Yeah.
skate shops, and those completes were just flying off the walls, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Plus bikes too.
Awesome.
Everyone wanted to start, jumping on
Yeah.
bikes.
The adults started riding bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids were riding skateboards.
Yeah.
And the skateboard industry went nuts. They couldn't
Wow.
keep up to the sales. They couldn't keep
Wow,
up with the
that's
production.
good.
Right? All the manufacturers got so far behind that they're still trying to produce orders from last year.
Wow.
Right? And completes were impossible to get for a while. You had to build your own.
Wow.
And then trucks were hard to get because all trucks are made in China, and there was a 6-week period where no production happened in China. It fucked the whole thing up.
Holy.
Oh boy.
So skateboarding actually boosted
Yeah.
in the year 2020 without the Olympics.
Yeah.
Then now the Olympics finally happened, it'll jump a little bit higher.
That's cool.
And I think that we've probably got another 5-year run out of that energy
Yeah.
before we need another something awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Big rip.
Yeah. That's right. Big rip.
Change the world.
Are
bro.
you gonna get your ass in the Olympics or what, big dog?